Welcome to lesson 3 of this tutorial series, where we build an inventory system using Next 15, being the latest version of Next.js application as of the time of recording this series. This lesson 3, my task is to build a skeletal interface of this landing page where you get to see once you log in into the system. It's not the main landing page when you just visit the website, but it is the dashboard page, landing page when you logged in to your account. So by default, once you log in, what you see is this getting started. Okay, which is one of the 4 tabs that contain different contents in this software. So today, in this particular lesson, my task is to build this part of the software. Okay, so I am going to create 3 different components. I am going to create one named welcome. This is where we are going to put this. In this particular series, unless I decide otherwise, I am not intending to put this part of the content into it. Okay, but it may be possible that I will just add it as a bonus in this series. Okay, where we just put in a content to the far right of the top part. Okay. And so another component, I'm going to name it main, is going to be the one that is going to house this content, where we are going to be importing another component, which I'm going to name dashboard content tabs. And that is the one that that is going to have our all these stuffs on the tabs, where once you click, the appropriate content will come in. But in this tutorial, I am not going to structure the proper content. What I'm going to do is to have a placeholder content for the time being on this. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to click through this and see appropriate content relating to that dashboard, though not the actual content, but a placeholder for now, and you'll be greeted once you log into the account. Again, let me reiterate that we are going to add code, whatever information we'll see here in this tutorial, because this data is actually, in real sense, will be coming from the database. Once you log in, it takes in your name, and this is supposed to be your username. Okay, so that being said, let's get started. Okay, right here, I'm going to create a component and we'll name it welcome. Okay, I am going to run RAFC to get the bare minimum structure. I'll create another one. I'll call it main.jsx. I will run RAFCE again. Okay, and on the third one is I'm going to name it dashboard contents tabs .jsx. Okay, I'll just kind of use this. I want to, okay, what about making it as default? Okay, anyway, let me just leave it as it is for now. If there is any reason for me to change it, which I doubt, it will be changed later. So having created these 3 different components, then let's go back to our where we left up let off from in lesson 2. So I would like to then import those components that we have, that I just created. And so the welcome will be on top, and I'm importing main to this. Okay, the main seems not to have been imported. So, okay, now I've imported the new component. And by the way, our main component, this main component, which is coming from here, would in turn import our dashboard. Okay. I can simply just come here and import it. So I'll get it from the prompt. If it's not coming up in your case when you start practicing, just try to type it out, okay, and map to. And here we are just importing it from the same directory, because they all, I'm importing dashboard content tabs, okay, which is in the same directory in the component as main. That's why we just put a tab to say we are in the same directory. And that's why it's quite different from where we are mapping to the art component for when we are importing into a component, okay, that is outside of the component itself. Okay, so then after this, let's see what the application looks like. Okay. Okay, an issue is being okay, let me read what it is. Can't next this server module not found. Vendor context document. Okay, the error is coming from where? Okay, this should not be a problem. Let me check well. Okay, we have our dash component, export default, or export const. Okay, because this was exported as a constant function. Okay, I need to, yes, it's been imported in the right way. It's been imported in the right way. Okay, where could the problem be coming from? Let's check here. Okay, let me quickly debug by removing the main and see. This can, everything has compiled correctly. Here we see the welcome, okay, which means the problem should be coming from the main. The problem must be coming from the main or the content that we have here. Okay. Okay, so if I go to my main and simply just comment this one out, we no longer want to import, remove it from the import. So then I go back to the page here and we uncomment this just to bring it back. Okay, everything seems to be okay. Oh, now the error is coming. Main from a wrong. Oh yes, this is where the issue is. Okay, this is where the issue. Okay, so let's import our main. Okay, from add components dot main. Okay. And okay, let me go to the main and see what we have. Okay, yeah, everything is fine. We can throw back our dashboard. Okay, so right now there shouldn't be any problem. Okay, so we see our welcome and we see our dashboard contents. So now I will go and style out our welcome, and I'll create, then I will go and do the needful on the dashboard content tabs on those two different components. Okay, so I need to go to my welcome, and you know what we need to do here on the welcome. To keep the video short, as usual, I am going to pause the video here and bring in the and type in the content. Then after, I will explain. Okay. So here, in order for us to simulate the welcome part of the dashboard, I am creating a variable called name, and I'm putting the name. This name will be coming from the database when we get to that point, and the username too will be coming from the database, so to speak. So I'm just creating this as a kind of placeholder so that we have something to put in here. So what is happening here is let me zoom a little bit. Okay. So what is happening here in this component is this has been declared, right? These are just a simple way of declaring variables in JavaScript. I have them as this. So in my welcome component, I have the parent div, and I am flexing, I'm applying Tailwind classes of flex, which makes our content to allow me to position the content inside of this parent div in the particular way that I want to put it, so that I am assigning a full width, okay, and padding, item center. Okay, you just follow all of these stuffs, and what so these are actually Tailwind CSS classes that we are using in styling our dashboard. So I'm importing this folder, although it is not the particular folder that was used in Zoho. I don't know. I've not actually been able to point it out what kind of icon that is. Okay, but it doesn't really matter. Our idea is to understand how we can build something that is very close to that of Zoho. Okay, so I am enclosing my parent div. I have two other div elements. Okay, and the reason why this is so is because so that I am able to position this folder, I mean this icon, to the left of the content, and I'm able to equally position this one to the right. And when I position this is still being flexed out, and we applied a flex column such that the first element here is on top and this is on the bottom, so that we can it can look like the project that we are building. Okay, so after adding this, and let's check what it looks like on the. Okay, so right now this is what we have. We have Hello Tech Pundit, and this is our icon, and this is the username that is here. Okay, appropriate, in the actual application, these will be coming from the database. Whatever the name of the user is and the username is going to be seen here, while the icon will always be constant for all the users when they log in. So the next step will be to okay, why not just put this other content this side, at least to prove that it is doable. Let me do this other part as a bonus, okay, and then before we start with the tabs. So what is going to happen here is I'm going to create another parent div where that is going to wrap all of this. Okay, so to do that, let me so now this is a new div. Okay, so what we are going to have is because I want to wrap all of these in a parent div, where and here we are going to create another div. Okay, maybe I don't even need to create this. Let me just close this. And this, you see, where we are having our hello name and the username, this div is going to be the second that goes to, okay, so we are going to be flexing this to the far right, and this, okay, this whole thing, this part is going to be flexed to the left. Okay, so that's why we are flexing in here. Okay. Okay, so let's check what we have currently. Let's check what we have. Okay, we can see we have this and we have this. Okay, but we have this to be, we want this to be on a straight line, not two lines. To do that, let me come here and assign a full width to this part of it, and we justify. It's already actually working without even justifying it. Okay, so what we need to do on this part, okay, flex column is always still a good idea. So we can do that by removing this full width here. This is what is giving that, and since we have already applied the full width on top, okay, let me save it. And now we have this, okay, but it is too close to the edge. Okay, so basically our padding item center, let me just grab these guys. Margin top, yes, margin top is used here. So instead of having just bear this, I have to put this. There is no need for gap X in this particular one because the icon is not there. Okay, so I'm having a padding. Okay, let's see how it is, then we decide. Okay, now this is fine. This is fine, except, let me see. Okay, it's fine, actually fine. Okay, so let's just then change maybe the content here. Let me just call it Zo outline and put a number. Let's say plus. Okay, just a placeholder number. And according to this, what we have here, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., which is the time. So in here, let me add code a Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Let's see what we have. Okay, it's big. Okay, so the font is going to be normal. Let's change the font bold to normal. Okay, item center, padding this, margin top. Okay, let me see. Okay, so we have this. We have this. Let me make this one to, I think it's just fine. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, normal text. Font is normal. Text shouldn't be extra large. Let me just say small. Let me change it to small. Okay, something better. Okay, maybe we can apply a class. Okay. And since there seems to, okay, the bottom one is having something, a different, okay, let me put this one here and close it up. Yeah, call it small. And the font, let me change it to thin. Okay. Okay, so we have already laid out the welcome part. Okay. We can do a lot of things to make it more beautiful looking and all that, but we've just set it out. Okay, so the next step will be to go and work on our dashboard content tabs. Okay, so I'm done creating or typing in the dashboard content tabs, and we are declaring it to use client here because we are going to be working on navigation tabs, okay, in order for us to manage the state. So for next JS application, for next app router that we are using, it is imperative that we declare it to be a client. That's such that the Next.js app knows that we are running a client, which is necessary for us to manage these tabs in the state, and not the server. It's not a server side application. So I have declared a constant variable called tabs, and it's in an array of these values. Where we have our dashboard, getting started, announcement, and recent updates. And these ones are coming from here. So we are going to use them here. Okay. So that is basically what this means. We are going to map through these tabs in order for us to render it on the UI. So I am, this is the dashboard content component that was created initially when we just had a dashboard content tabs there. But now, so I'm declaring these functions where we take our active tab so that we know when we are on a particular active, when one tab is active, so that we can apply that blue border background like we have here, this one. Okay, so and we need to manage the state when we are loading the content. We set it to false at the initial state. We set it to false, and the content that goes into each of the tabs, it is empty, string to start with. And here I am hard coding, or I'm initializing. I'm setting the state to getting started. Why? Because by default, when you log into this whole application, the getting started is the active tab. Okay, so that's why we put it as getting started. Beautiful. Okay, and now I am throwing in this use effect. This use effect is a hook that is coming from React. Here it is, where we are importing it. Okay, and our use effect would then, okay, so this use effect is basically going to be called upon to run the code within it. Once there is React notice that there is a change in the active tab. That is why we are putting in this curly bracket to tell Nest.js application. This is React thing actually. So this is how the state can be managed. Once it notices that there is a change in the tab content, then the state changes, then this one would be called upon again. And by the way, this is just to simulate an async content loading for now, because we don't have a database, we don't have data there, we are not communicating with the database, so to speak. So for right now, we are just simulating it. And once there is a change in the active tab, the new load, the data will load. And this is just to simulate it when there is a network delay or something. It can be 500 millisecond, whatever it is. But just for this tutorial sake, I am using 800 seconds. Okay, so maybe I need to explain something more here. So we are setting the content. We set the timeout. This is this one is coming from JavaScript, and we are calling on an arrow function to just do the basics for us. Okay, and you clear the timeout when the timeout is gone. When this 800 has expired, we clear the state. We reset it back to, so the data will load. On here we are loading the content to the UI. We are loading the content to the UI. These are our usual Tailwind classes that you should be familiar with by now, if not before the start of this tutorial, if you are not familiar before this time. Okay, and here we are mapping through our tabs, the tabs that was declared above, that was declared here, this content. So if we are interested in adding more tabs in the future, we just come here and add those tabs, and we can arrange them in order of in the order that we want them to be seen or to be rendered to the user. Okay, so it's the basic form. We throw in an on-click event, and we set active tab to the current tab that is taken as a key, and so on and so forth. And this is just how we laid out our things. We are putting in transition colors, duration, and so on and so forth. So basically that is what it means, and this is the button in which that takes our tab according to the tab content, and it loads it. This is giving our border, the blue border, and the border bottom of 4. Okay, let's see where, if it's big, we change it, we reduce it in a way. And each time we are clicking on the button, then a connecting data, okay, from the that connects to the active tab, okay, with the one that corresponds to the content will be loading here. Yes, of course, in reality, I am going to be refactoring this part of it to connect the appropriate data that is coming from the database into view. Okay, so basically, this is what our dashboard content tabs looks like. Okay, so let's see, because it has already been imported here, and then let's see what it is on the UI. Now we see it's being laid out on the UI. Okay, I've just noticed something, that the text color remain gray, while in our case there we have it as blue when it is active or when it is over. Okay, that is going to be fixed in our Tailwind CSS. We're going to fix that. Okay, so let's see what is happening here. We have this. So if I click on this, we can see it's loading dashboard content. at least the placeholder one. This is getting started content loaded. Okay, announcement content loaded, and recent update content loaded. So I'm going to, when we are going to do some refactoring, this thing that we are seeing here, the loading state that we are seeing here, we are going to replace it with loading animation. Okay, like in the actual software that we are simulating. If we don't use the particular one, we can just use any other loading animation that does that. Okay, so now our dashboard is getting, is coming up gradually. Okay, I am trying to see the gap between the top part on the welcome part, which is our welcome, and our main seems to be bigger. Let's check. Yeah, obviously bigger. So let me work to reduce it. Okay, let me see whether there is any, okay, margin top of 6. Okay, perhaps it's too, let's say I put it as 0. Let me see whether it will be fine. It seems not that it's not yet refreshed. Okay, I put it as 0, it's fine. So if we put it as 0 and it's it looks like what we want, what it means is we don't need the margin top at all. That's what it means. So instead of putting margin top 0, we just say we are just silent on margin. Okay, so again, let me check. Okay, for now, I think this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. Okay, thank you. Stay blessed as you look forward to seeing the next lesson. Bye. So I will encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified each time new lesson drops. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.